Hi, my name is Samantha Daniel, and this is my video on my propagation methods I use on my plants. My first propagation method is division. I used a cockburn flowering plant that died in a cup, and it eventually sprouted little seedlings, and now they're overbearing in this one little cup. So I bore holes in a little cup, and I placed some soil in the cup, and here I'm going to break apart the seedlings to put one in this cup. Prior to any propagation method, ensure that your plants are well watered and are healthy. So here I am just holding the base of the plant and I'm breaking apart the soil. Next, I'm going to actually break off one of the seedlings without severely damaging the roots, and then I'll place this in the cup I prepared with some potting soil. Here I use a knife to dig a hole deep enough to accommodate the plant roots, and I'm placing it in place and then slightly covering on top of the roots with some soil. And then I watered it. Now we move on to the cutting propagation method. In my previous videos I did a propagation already on the mint plant, and I found out that the smaller the branch was, it was more viable. It became more stronger after transplant. So I selected the smaller size branches that were newly formed and I cut them off at the joint. Next, I had a cup prepared with soil and I poked a hole with a knife and just placed the mint plant in there and then watered it. Next up is air layering. For my air layering propagation method, I selected the dwarf umbrella tree. This plant is easily propagated through cuttings, but I selected it because this is the only thing I had at hand at the moment. I started by scoring the outline where I want to peel off the outer layer of the plant in order to get in contact with the inner layer of the plant. And then I carefully peeled the outer layer of the plant. And this is the finished product after peeling off the outer layer of the plant stem. And here is a picture of all my materials used. I used a knife, some string to tie it off, some soil, and some cling wrap. Here I'm taking up some of the moist soil and I'm forming it into a shape so that I can wrap it around the cleared area on the stem. I carefully mold the soil around the cleared area on the stem and form a sort of a cocoon shape around it. And now I'm going to seal it off with a cling wrap so that it doesn't get wet in the rain or infected with any sort of disease or anything like that. The cling wrap was secured tightly and tied off with some strings on the both ends to keep it intact. And finally we have the grafting propagation method. For this method I use a tomato seedling and a pimento seedling. They are both from the Solanaceae family and they should be compatible. Here I'm starting off by using a sharp knife to cut off just underneath the cotyledons of the seedling, and then I'm doing the same on the tomato plant. I did not get a grafting clip, so I utilized things in my household, so I found this sort of, I don't know, attachment. So I placed it at the top of my rootstock and then added in my scion, which is the top of my tomato plant, and then I watered it. Here I made a makeshift healing chamber where the plant can heal itself so that the scion and rootstock can become one and so that they would be free of any diseases or pests. Thank you for your time. Bye and take care.